Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle, and starting from today, I will do the little problems with you together. The programming language we're going to choose would be Python 3. For each video, we are going to solve one of the problem. I will also notice the approach methods through the title. For the simple ones, I will combine all the approaches in one single video. For others, I will record them in separate videos. So please do check the message below and see if there will be any other approaches. Okay, thanks for choosing us, and let's just get started. Today we're going to solve the problem number 75, and the name is salt colors. It belongs to medium category. The data structure related to this problem is array, and the solution, obviously the approach, is called one pass. Okay, before we go to any details about this problem, let's just read the descriptions together first. For these problems, we have an input which is called nums. That is an array and with n objects colored with red, white, and blue. It asks us to sort the of the objects in place so that the objects of the same color are adjacent, with the color in the order red, white, and blue. Likely, we will use the integers 0, 1, and 2 to represent of the color's name. And we must solve this problem without using the library's sort function. So let's just go through each sentence one by one. So the first one is we cannot use a built-in sorting function, so which means we have to write the algorithms by our hand, or we say we will just build off the algorithms from scratch. The second part is we are asking to use the in-place method, which means the space complexity should be of 1. We cannot use the extra space to install a new array. In this case, we have to only use the constant variables to just go work through all the algorithms. And then to solve this problem, we're using 0, 1, and 2, which means for this input array, we only have 3 different elements. No matter how many elements we have in this whole array, we only have 3 different categories. And after sorting, we are just sorting the colors from the order as red, white, and blue, which is 0, 1, and 2. So that is ascending order to sorting of the input array. Okay, let's go through example 1 to get a better understanding. So the input nums is equals to 202110, and 0 stands for red, 1 stands for white, and 2 stands for blue. So actually, you don't have to really care about the color's name now. You only need to care about the numbers in this array. So we only want to have the output as the ascending order of all the numbers. Same for example 2, when we have the input numbers as 201, then the output would be 0, 1, and 2. The example 3 and example 4 are kind of a simple version of the input because we only have one number and the output is just the number itself. Okay, let's write the solution together and see how things going. So first of all, we need to initial some variables. The first one is P0. So what is P0 for? P0 is kind of stand for where we can store the zeros, and then we will also have a pointers named the current. So current means which position we're trying to read at this point. So when you go through this whole arrays, you need to read them numbers by numbers. So which number are you reading now? We're starting from 0 all the time. And then we also have the third pointers, which is called point P2. P2 stands for like where we can store the numbers of 2. So we mark it as P2 to stand for like pointer for 2. Where it will be the position of the starting point, that should be at the end of this whole array, because 2 always be the largest number of the output. Then the pointer 2 should just indicate to the first place where we can insert the number 2, which is at the end of this whole array. Okay, after we have all of these pointers, then we will just write our while loop. So what will the while loop be? First, we will need to ensure that we will go through all of the elements within this array, and on the other hand, we just need to go through all of the elements for once. We don't have to do the redundant or duplicate steps. So we just takes the statement as current less than or equal to P2, which means these 2 points don't cross each other, and we are making sure that we have to like go through all the elements before we jump out of this while loop. Okay, then we will go to each element of this array. Then there will be the three scenarios. If we say that 0 and at any point we will swap to the front, because there will always be in the front of this output. If we say numbers of the P0 is, I would say the numbers of that should be the numbers of the current is equals to 0, and then we have to like swap the numbers of 0 to numbers of the current. Then we will say numbers of P0 is equals to numbers of current, and on the other hand, or we say vice versa, we will say numbers of current is equals to numbers of P0. Then we just swap these two numbers, and then we will just move our index. The index of our current point will be just move number by number through this array. So we will say current is equals to current plus 1, and same for the P0. Since we already read the number of the P0, so we just say P0 is plus equals to 1, which is P0 also equals to P0 plus 1. So the second scenario is the numbers of current is equals to 2. So we say else if numbers of current is equals to 2. So from here we need to swap the numbers to the end, similar as what we do for 0, but we just have the different pointer we need to swap. In the numbers of current equals to 0, we swap with the P0, but with numbers of current equals to 2, we swap with the P2. After we swapping, we just need to move the pointer of the current. We just move the pointer of P2. So why we didn't move the pointer of P? Why don't we move the pointer of the current? Because we haven't seen the value of the P2 yet, and we just directly swap the numbers of current to the end of this array. In the next round, we still have to raise the value of the new numbers of the current. So the last scenario is our numbers of current is just exactly equal to 1. Since 1 is just at the middle of the part of the output, we don't need to swap to the front, or we don't need to swap to the end of this whole array. So that should be okay. We just need to say we want to say the next number of this array for the next round. So we just say current is equal to current plus 1. Okay, that should be all for this solution. Let's just submit up about our code. Okay, the submission is successfully, and the runtime and the memory usage is just as shown here. From here, we just trying to give a little bit hint on the complexity. So for the space complexity, since we only use like pointers and just constant variables, so the space complexity would be O of 1, and if we say the time complexity, we only go through the whole element, the whole array for once. So we just go through all the elements just for one time. So the whole array, assume that is n objects, then the output, I would say the times complexity would be O of n. Okay, that should be all for this video. So hopefully the result working for you and help you to solve this problem. Thank you so much, and that's all for today's video. If you're first time to watch my videos, please do subscribe my channel and give me a thumb up. Thank you so much, and see you in my next videos.